This framework has been massively successful for my hundreds of one-on-one nutrition coaching clients. I still get messages from clients I worked with over 5 years ago with a picture of their meal saying, "Check out this diamond meal. I thought you'd be proud." And golly, they're right. I am so proud. It's just so stinking simple that it makes eating healthy consistently no big deal for the long term. 5 years later, they're still doing the thing.
Do you struggle to stay consistent with healthy eating and just want food decisions to be easy, guilt-free, and sustainable? You're in the right place. Hi, I'm Chelsea, nutritionist and fitness coach who overcame restrictive yo-yo dieting and body image insecurities using simple nutrition tools, all backed by biblical principles. And now I help women like you find that same freedom with food so you can feel confident in the look and health of your body for decades to come. I'm ready to dive in with you. So grab that cute notebook you've been hanging on to and let's go.
Hi, Chelsea. I've absolutely loved your show so far. I'm hoping you can talk about the diamond meal at some point. I've seen you post it on your Instagram stories before, but I'd love a deeper explanation. Thanks for all you do, Ashley. Ashley, thank you for your review and request. I will absolutely explain the diamond meal and more. So let's dive in. Welcome to the show. All right, if you're wondering, what the heck is a diamond meal? Hang with me. I'll explain what Ashley was referring to in her review of the show. I'm actually going to dedicate this entire episode to giving you the exact blueprint for getting the health and fitness results you want with the food you eat. This is pretty much everything you need right here. All of my secret sauces I'm giving to you right now. So I hope you're locked in and paying attention. When I really started figuring out nutrition on my own health journey, I realized it came down to 3 simple components: the quality of our food, the quantity of our food, and our mindset with food. And you need all 3 to be super successful. The problem with most diet plans is that they usually focus on only 1 or 2 of those. Like counting macros, for example. As long as you hit your specific number of grams for protein, carbs, and fat every day, it doesn't really matter how you get there. If you've ever explored macro counting, I'm sure you ran into resources like If It Fits Your Macros, which is appealing to a lot of people because you can make hot dogs your protein, the bun your carbs, and ice cream your fat. What a dream! The problem I found with that is how I felt. Sure, I could hit my numbers and shed some body fat, but I felt lethargic and gross. Macros in general focuses on the quantity, but doesn't really address the quality or mindset. Paleo, as another example, focuses a lot on quality of ingredients, but doesn't really address quantity. So as long as you stay away from dairy, grains, sugar, you're good to go. When I was hardcore paleo, which I did for about 2.5 years, I actually felt great. I hardly had any cravings. My skin, oh my gosh, my skin completely cleared up. I was on prescription meds for acne for years, and once I started eating paleo, it just disappeared. Praise Jesus. But the issue I ran into with paleo was that even though I was eating all real whole foods, my fat intake didn't allow for me to get the leanness I wanted with my physique. And I actually didn't know it at the time, but that extra few percentages of body fat was holding my fitness back as well. There are a lot of examples of diets that cover some of this blueprint to health and fitness with eating, but not everything. And so when I embarked on my nutrition coaching journey, I wanted to come up with simple ways to remember quality, remember quantity, remember mindset, so they could all be packaged up all neat and pretty in people's brains, never to be forgotten. Thus, the diamond meal was born. But first, I want to talk about quality because getting quality nailed down helps make the rest fall into place more seamlessly. For the quality component of getting your health and fitness results with the food you eat, this is what I teach my clients. Eat real food as often as possible. And so we need to define what real food is. And I put it like this. If it once walked, flew, swam, or grew, it's real. Anything else is fake and we don't need it. Again, that's walked, flew, swam, or grew. Examples of this. Things that walked could be considered beef, venison, elk. Things that once flew are chicken or duck. Now, I know chickens don't really get airborne, but they have wings and they aren't red meat, so I gave them their own category. Things that once swam, salmon, cod, sardines. And things that once grew, spinach, tomatoes, apples, etc. So when we are faced with a food decision, we need to ask ourselves, is this real food? And if we're unsure, if it's not clear, then we go through each ingredient and see if it can fall into one of those categories. Let's use a hamburger, for example. The patty, especially if it's a beef patty, that falls into the walked category. The toppings, lettuce, tomato, onion, those once grew. And of course, the bun, this is where it gets tricky. Yes, we could consider that a once grew item, but I don't know about you, but I have actually never seen a field of buns growing. I've seen fields of wheat growing, which are a part of buns, but because it is a processed food, we actually need to go through each of the ingredients in that item to see if those all fall into the walk, flew, swam, grew categories. If yes, that bun is a real food. If no, the bun is a fake food and we really should consider passing on it. Because once we start to literally see food as real or fake, it actually makes our food choices so much simpler and straightforward. Okay, now let's clarify this diamond meal business. This is the framework I came up with to help my nutrition clients nail down quantity. We start with a basic structure, and then after a few weeks of testing that consistently, we can make adjustments as needed. So if you picture the shape of a diamond, and I'm talking about the geometric, wonky looking square shape, not the gemstone emoji diamond. We've got 4 points with one at the top above the rest, 2 a little bit lower but on the same level, and then 1 at the bottom. And I say every meal should be a diamond meal, where at the top are your veggies, and we aim to have more veggies on our plate than anything else. The next 2 points are protein and starch. Some people say carbs, but I have found that a lot of us are still a bit leery about carb consumption, so I just use the word starch instead, but same thing in my book. We should aim to have equal amounts of protein and starch on the plate. And then fat is at the bottom. Now, we don't need a lot of fat. Yes, fat can be very healthful, but it is also the most calorie dense, so a little goes a long ways. So these are things like salad dressings, nuts, seeds, cheese, even what you use to cook the other parts of the meal in, like butter and tallow, that can all count as your fat source for a meal, and it should be the smallest part of your plate. This framework has been massively successful for my hundreds of one-on-one nutrition coaching clients. I still get messages from clients I worked with over 5 years ago with a picture of their meal saying, "Check out this diamond meal. I thought you'd be proud." And golly, they're right. I am so proud. It's just so stinking simple that it makes eating healthy consistently no big deal for the long term. I mean, 5 years later, they're still doing the thing. Now, like I said, there are nuances to dial in as we get further down the road with diamond meals. So if you really want to take it to the next level, I encourage you to consider my one-on-one nutrition coaching program. It's called The Sustainable Way, and I'll give you every piece of the puzzle so that you can be one of my graduates who proudly sends me pictures of your meals several years later. And you can check that all out at coachrain.com/nutrition coaching. And the final component of the results by eating blueprint is our mindset. This is my favorite part of the whole coaching process because it's really what makes the whole thing stick. Not just another fad diet or quick fix, but like not feeling compelled to dive into a tub of ice cream after a death in the family kind of stick with it, which I have actually witnessed several times with various clients. Now, I could do an entire episode about mindset alone, but one of the major elements that we address in my program is relearning hunger and fullness cues, a lost art in the modern Western world, because we have food-like products that are so intricately engineered to bypass our innate ability to feel fullness that we often miss it altogether. And then on the flip side, we live in a world where most food is convenient and available in abundance. So as a whole, we've been conditioned to fear the feeling of hunger and avoid it at all costs. Well, there is a cost to both, and there's great value in relearning those cues. I believe God built hunger and fullness cues in us for very good purpose. Number one, food keeps our organs functioning, keeps our physical body alive. And number two, gluttony is harmful. One of the ways I have my clients start to relearn those cues is by attaching feelings, physical feelings, to a number on a scale 1 through 10, where 1 is totally famished, maybe even faint, and 10 would be, I need to unbutton my pants at the Thanksgiving table, kind of full. And then I challenge them to venture on both ends of the spectrum, but then try to always stay between a 3 and a 7. It's up to them to determine what 3 feels like in their body and what 7 feels like in their body. But pinning that down can keep us from making impulsive food choices out of panic or continuing to eat just because it's available. Okay, that was a lot, I know. But really, that is the simple blueprint you need to get the health and fitness results you're looking for by the way you eat. It doesn't have to be a complicated counting system, and you don't need a degree in dietetics to know for sure if something is real and healthy or fake and less than healthy. You know, another really simple way that I say it is eat only what God made for food and as much of it as your body needs. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Again, if you want to work with me directly to map out this blueprint for your body and your lifestyle and all the challenges that come with being you, head to coachrain.com/nutrition coaching, and you can actually set up a time to just chat with me and learn more about my one-on-one nutrition coaching program.
I pray this episode was helpful to you, my friend. If so, could you do me a massive favor and take 30 seconds to write a review? This is the best way to bless me big and help more people learn just how simple eating healthy consistently can be. And if you want more value-packed info from me, head to coachrain.com and sign up for the Weekly Harvest, my weekly emails filled with recipes, how to use food as medicine, biblical nutrition, and more. That's coachreign.com for the Weekly Harvest. Blessings until next time, sis. Toodles.